It's the Open Bedroom Doors Show.
I'm Angela Skirtu, and I open bedroom doors. Welcome to the Open Bedroom Doors Show. Real talk for real relationships. I'm your host, Angela Skirtu, your friendly neighborhood sex therapist and licensed marriage therapist. And yes, talking about sex is literally my job. I started this show because, let's be real, most of us didn't get sex education. We're out here fumbling through love, intimacy, and awkward bedroom moments with zero guidance and a lot of shame. Time to fix that. Here's what you can expect every episode. Sex positions. We start off hot by judging something wild, weird, or just plain wrong in the media or culture. You'll laugh, you'll cringe, you might even learn something. Next, we move to guest interviews. I chat with fascinating folks, sexperts, storytellers, and everyday humans with juicy stories and powerful insights. And then, of course, we have to have a happy ending. Yep, we finish strong. I answer real questions from real people about sex, relationships, and all the stuff you're too afraid to ask your therapist or anyone else for that matter. But I'm here, so ask away. If you're ready to laugh, learn, and finally talk about the stuff no one ever taught us, hit play. Let's open that bedroom door, shall we? You only maybe get a few minutes where you actually have energy when you're pregnant, so here's how to make them count. Welcome to Sex Positions. This is the Open Bedroom Door Show, and on this segment, what I like to do is judge things as a sex therapist that are happening in media and society that are related to sex. And I'm your resident sex therapist. Hey! Today I'm actually taking some time to talk about pregnancy. And one of the different things, or many of the different things that people are going through when it comes to pregnancy. So, essentially what I'm hearing from pregnant friends and loved ones is that you're so tired that sometimes you can't even think about sex. Like it's the last thing that comes up, but then it randomly comes up when you weren't expecting it. Because here's the other thing that's happening with pregnancy is you do have more increased blood flow to your vagina at times. So you'll find that you kind of randomly are horny, like super horny in weird times. But then there's these other times where you just don't have a lot of energy to match it. And so some of the things that I want you to think about are how can you capture the moment when you have it, but then just give yourself permission to have different types of intimacy when you can't. So one of the things that I encourage all my couples to do is to find ways to cuddle with each other more frequently as a result of intimacy kind of being up and down, right? So like if I'll use the bed to show you a little bit and I'll cuddle with my bears because of course my BDSM bears, right? But so some of what you can do is cuddle. This is like spooning, right? So if you have somebody in front and you're spooning, I want you to practice cuddling on a more regular basis. And actually you can naked cuddle too. I once had a Southern couple who used to call it naked cuddling, and I've called it naked cuddling ever since. But like, I really encourage you to do a lot of naked cuddling too. You know, they talk a lot about skin to skin contact with you and your baby, but I don't think we talk enough about skin to skin contact with parents connecting to each other. And just like your baby is getting something out of skin to skin contact from you, you and your partner can build some intimacy with that same skin to skin contact. So I really encourage you to find ways to stay close, whether or not you are feeling sexual in the day, because it is one thing that's going to help you stay connected. If you want a bed, guess what? We are filming our sex positions here at Mattress Dogs. This is a mattress furniture store, and I am thankful for Mattress Dogs for letting me do my sex positions event in bed. Use promo code SEXYTIME and you can get your next bed here tax-free. We're always looking for sponsors. So if you would like to become a sponsor for the show or for the sex position segment, please go to openbedroomdoors.com and check out our sponsorship page. And we will, if you become one of our sponsors, we'll even let you pick the position. Everyone, welcome to the Open Bedroom Doors Show. I'm your host, Angela Skirtu, and today I have Byron and Margaret. I am so excited to have you guys on the show. Will you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay. You go first.
Well, we are a fantastic couple
Of course.
that have been together for 27 and a half years. Might I add the half, and we have come together to form this union, and we decided 3 years ago to share this union that we have, and to put some positive spins on the terms of marriage, where when you look at social media, there's such a negative idea that people tend to share. So we wanted to kind of negate some of that and share our story. And so we decided to create a podcast. And that podcast led us to meeting wonderful people like yourself, who was encouraging us and was like, hey, you guys have a wonderful story. You need to write a book. So we did that. We wrote a book. And then after that, it was like, well, you guys should consider coaching. It was like, what is coaching? And so we started looking into that. We got some certification on that. And so here we are, just thriving and moving along and trying to share our story with the world.
Absolutely. And just so everybody knows, it's the Beyond I Do podcast that you guys do. And actually, as you were talking, Byron, it was very low and bass. And I was like, oh, I could tell why people listen.
Well, that's good. It's good.
You're going to put some people to sleep with that voice. Just listen to Byron. It's good till I start
cursing.
Some people that soothes their system. You don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
He gets excited when he hears it. So,
well, the thing is, I'm the youngest of 10 kids. So being the baby of 10, you kind of get lost in the shuffle. So when you speak, you just kind of softly say, hey, I'm here,
Mm-hmm. You learn to speak when it matters and speak up wisely.
Right.
So you said, what was it? 26?
27.
27. So most people listening would say, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I understand why you're doing what you're doing, because I'm imagining people are looking up to you like, well, this is a beacon of marriage to make it that long, right? Because there's so many people struggling, so many people going through divorce. What would you say are some of the things that have helped your marriage last this long?
Mm-hmm. So the main thing that we focus on is making sure that you like your partner. And it sounds like such a simple thing. And people say, well, of course I do. But then you can tell when people don't really like their partner, when they're just kind of going through the motions. And so we encourage couples to make sure that they cultivate their friendship. We are each other's best friends. We do things together, and whatever you think of with your friend, that's how we feel about each other. So it's not always a romantic type thing. We have our shared jokes. We have shared interests and hobbies, but we also have our individual hobbies, and we support each other in those. So we cultivate that friendship so that there are people you love that you don't necessarily want to see every day. So we make sure to cultivate that friendship and work on liking each other so that
that's funny. Thumbs down. I don't want to hang out with you. Like you're in my life, but not by my choice. That's what that thumbs down represented. That was funny.
We work on that friendship because in the day to day, especially when you have kids and when life starts to really get moving, you can lose sight of each other. Yeah. And it's hard to go from the day to day to, okay, it's time to go to bed. Let's be intimate with nothing in between. And so we try to focus on that in between.
What do you two think makes a good friend?
Well, you got to be able to laugh. That's the main thing. Like, and
I laugh at him all the time.
Today, if you just log on, if your algorithm is correct, if you log on to your social media, you can laugh pretty much all day. We're a part of some relationship groups, and we join together, and it's amazing to hear, first of all, some of the people will come to the internet for advice, and I'm all about giving advice. Don't get me wrong. But you go to these random people in a Facebook group and ask these questions that you haven't even asked your spouse. Like, and it is just funny. Like, why did you feel like you need to get this kind of advice? But then it'll be something totally ridiculous. And then the response is just like, wait a minute, you said that, you meant that. So we share stuff like that and we just laugh.
The comfort with each other. There's a comfort there. Like he said, you have people going online to strangers for advice. If you can't go to your partner with these intimate questions or personal questions, there's something that's not right there.
Yeah.
There should be a level of comfort. There should be a level of peace. There should be, like he said, the laughter. We have shared jokes and things like that, but we have shared hobbies. We have the podcast and things like that. We do some things around the house, but he rides motorcycles. That was something that I didn't necessarily approve of at first. But now that's one of the things that, I get on the motorcycle with him and we ride. That's something we do together. So those types of things that you would do with a platonic friend where there's no pressure, you don't feel like you have to be something other than yourself.
Yeah.
You need those moments and those times with your partner, because if I can't be comfortable with you just sitting and being in your presence, then it's going to translate over into other areas of our relationship.
So you guys brought up two, but there's a third one I really want to dig into that is like being hinted around here. So the first two is shared hobbies and laughing together. But this third one that you guys keep bringing up is this feeling of like safety with each other and comfort.
Yes.
But I'm curious because there's people who are listening here who don't have that. I really think that's often my step one for couples is helping them build their friendship. And like you say, you should be able to talk to each other. But like some of my couples can't or are struggling. And so I'm wondering, what do you think are the steps to create safety so that you can share with your partner? Because that's the big thing. They're all like, I can't talk to my partner about this. That's why they're sharing it on those groups. So like, what have you guys done to create that safety in your relationship?
So we used to, and I say used to, we still do for very difficult conversations. They might come via text or a letter.
Text each other like, hey, I need to talk to you about, because you're a little nervous at first to bring it up.
Yeah. Whatever the issue is at hand, if there's a misconception or if something has been said, the next day I might think about it and just text it out. Be like, hey, this is what I said. I meant this. I apologize. You know what I'm saying? It'll be something like that, because sometimes in the heat of a discussion, you're trying to get your point across and you're listening to defend yourself. And so then when you're going back and forth, you're not accomplishing anything. So it's like, I learned, because I'm probably have adult ADHD. I've never been diagnosed, but you know, when we would have arguments or discussions, we didn't have arguments. I would oftentimes, she would be like, tell me one thing, then tell me the second thing, and then tell me another thing. Well, I'm still trying to figure out the first thing, you know? So by the time we get done, we haven't accomplished anything. I'm frustrated. She's frustrated. So I said, well, you know what? I'm just going to write a letter. When you said this is what I thought it meant. That way she can read it. She had time to kind of process what is said, what is written down. And then we can have a discussion and say, okay, I meant this, I meant that. And that's one of the things that has helped us, you know, just kind of navigate those issues.
And both of us, he's non-confrontational. For me, I have to have some type of, closure so that I know that it's not a lingering thing. And so the writing, I also can be kind of feisty with my words. And so writing
sometimes that's good. Other times not so much.
So writing helps me go, I can't say that. So that was one way that we learned to have those difficult conversations. Another thing is, when you really think about it, you have to find some way to have those things. You've vowed to live with this person for the rest of your life. So we've had to kind of sit down and look, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this, but I need to understand X, Y, and Z. When this happened, this is how I felt. So taking away the finger pointing and just talking about how I felt in a situation when this happened. But you have to get to a point to do that, because that's how you show vulnerability. That's how you build trust. And that's how you gain that connection and get closer.
Another thing that I think that just come to my brain, we were talking about this last night, is that security in being able to come to your partner and say something to them and it not get out to other people. It needs to stay within. And if you've displayed any type of, I've said something to them before, and then next thing you know, I'm getting in a discussion with his mom and his sister. Well, that's not going to go good. So you're not going to feel comfortable telling that individual some things. So you have to create a level of comfort in just that security to say, okay, anything that's going on within us stays within us, and it's not going out to other people, whether if it's a friend, a family member, whatever you, even if it's your best friend, sometimes you have to keep those things in the sanctity of your marriage. So then you feel comfortable having those discussions and it's not getting out there. Cause the last thing, I'll share this, I had a situation, I'm getting more older man now, and I had a situation with some ED issues at one point in time. And I was real nervous about that, when it happened. And, but I felt comfortable with my wife to tell her, hey, how do you feel about this? I have no problem. So when she told me she didn't have any problem with it, I was like, okay, well, cool. Cause you're the only one that matter. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that, and guys need that level of comfort too, to be able to come to you and say, I'm dealing with this issue. And when you can create that level of safety, that helps with the communication. So now we can talk about whatever we need to talk about.
That's, first of all, you guys just covered like 50 things in one answer. So I'm just going to pull a few of them out, but this is why I love talking to you too, because you're just so full of wisdom. Any of you listening, and you gotta watch their podcast, the Beyond Idea podcast. Like, they are just full of nuggets like this. So you're amazing. One of the things that you guys said a while back that is actually related to people with ADHD, I really want to point that out because I am a fellow ADHDer, and one of the things that happens is we're a little filterless, right? And we don't realize that, like, our generation was not diagnosed, and so we just got in trouble in school, and I got in detention a lot, like that's what happened, right? So, that filterless way of talking. So I hear that you guys actually have a commitment to discussions, not fighting, which I totally encourage my couples. Like, I don't want any of you fighting, like a big, rabble rousing. You guys need to walk away when you're fighting like that, because that's not healthy for anyone. But with Margaret and Byron, what you guys are doing is saying, nope, we're going to make sure we talk and we listen and we create a compassionate, safe space. So that already is a baseline for it's easier to talk. But you've even done things like the whole texting thing is a way for like some of those people who kind of slow process, or they need to put their pieces together. ADHD and attentive type needs that. Where they can put their pieces together. For the ADHD hyperactive, which is me, energy all over the place, we just spit shit out like it's nobody's business. And for us, that's we're putting our pieces together out loud. And sometimes we say things as we're putting our pieces together that we don't really mean. We're just figuring things out. But along the way, that sounds sometimes like, what did you just say? Are you serious? And it's usually, I've talked to so many people with this diagnosis who it's unintentional. It's just like, no. I was just like trying to like figure this out. Wonderful words. Wonderful words from Margaret and Byron. You got to listen to their podcast. Tell them where they can find you, please.
It's at www.beyondidopodcast.com. If you would like to be a guest on our show, we're looking for couples who would like to share their love story. You can email us at admin@beyondidopodcast.com. Beyond I Do Podcast on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all platforms. YouTube. Yep. YouTube.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. And
Thank you.
I can't wait to have you on again.
Oh, yes. Let's do it.
That's too spicy. Well, guys, on the Open Bedroom Doors show, we often have content that's a little too spicy for your typical social media platforms. So for those of you who are like, I love everything Angela Skirtu and I want to know all the spicy details, we actually have a space where we put the uncut shows, and it is at patreon.com/openbedroomdoors. So you can subscribe to that channel and get all the behind the scenes, all that spicy stuff that I wasn't able to put in the show. That's too spicy. So I hope you can join me at patreon.com/openbedroomdoors. Keep in mind, that is how you support me. So it is a subscription channel where you have to pay to subscribe, but you are becoming a supporter of me and putting out this awesome content as a result. So please join me for those spicy, spicy things. Are you ready to take your sex life beyond the bedroom? You want to spice things up and have a little fun? Come join me for my couples retreats. We are taking Open Bedroom Doors to exotic locations and introducing you to fun, sexy new ways to intimately connect with your partner in a beautiful location surrounded with serenity, warmth, connection, that beachy vibe. This retreat is your opportunity to say, nope, I'm leaving the kids and work at home, and we're going to go to a place where we focus on us. We slow down, we get into our sensory experience, and I just want you to ignite your sex life and learn how to really take your sex life from 0 to 100. I'm Angela Skirtu at openbedroomdoors.com, and I hope to see you at my next retreat. Hello, everyone. In every episode, I like to answer one of my audience questions. And so I actually have a bunch of people who write in their different questions. And today's question is going to be answered with my BDSM bears. I have Berry Bonds and Consent Cub. They join me and create a safe environment. Okay. Today's question is trending talk about toxic masculinity. How important are gender roles within a monogamous heterosexual relationship? Wow, you guys give me really tough questions to answer. So I want to say I really don't like this phrase, toxic masculinity, because I think it's just another way we're putting men down for being men. I think there's plenty of people who like masculinity and think it's sexy to have a man that's a man's man or a strong man. What they're talking about is when people are, when they're just being pushy or abusive, right? So I don't know that that's necessarily linked to masculinity. I think it's like any of us can be abusive. Any of us can be aggressive or hurtful in a relationship if we're not having good conversations, if we're not listening to and hearing our partner. Like, I feel like there can be toxic any type of relationship style, right? Like whether you're male, female, or any gendered person, there's abuse. And so when I talk about this, I really want to talk about just dismantling abuse in relationships. Everybody should have a right to say yes or no in their relationship without punishment or fear of retribution. If you can't say no in your relationship, then that's an unsafe place to be. I think we all should be free from abuse in our relationship. So if somebody's yelling at you, if someone's putting you down, if someone's picking on you, yeah, those are toxic relationship behaviors. But I really struggle with this idea of like specifically calling out a gender or a type of person associated with it, because I actually work with a lot of really kind, really loving men. And when they hear these terms, then it makes them think, am I that person? Who am I? And what do I need to do? So there's a masculinity that's sexy and that's fun and that's special. And it just being a man doesn't make you a toxic person. It's what we're really talking about is abuse in that situation. And I think we need to call abuse out for what it is, that there are abusive behaviors that people can engage in relationships. And that is for any gendered person. And I do think there's a sexy place to be a man or a woman or a person, because again, I have all listeners of all gender types. And it can be just sexy to be yourself. And I know people who like to lean into like full masculinity and like, this is who I am and this is what makes me sexy. So I just think we need to stop putting down genders. That's my opinion on it. That's not, judge me if you like. Well, that's a wrap on this episode of the Open Bedroom Doors Show. Real talk for real relationships. If you laughed, learned, or blushed a little, you're welcome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend who needs a little more real talk in their life. Got a burning question about sex, love, or relationships? Check out openbedroomdoors.com and submit a contact form. Your question might just be featured in a future Happy Ending segment. Until next time, keep it honest, keep it sexy, and most of all, keep those bedroom doors open.